Every single day, people are taking action to conserve and preserve the wildlife that remains here in our beautiful world. Today, we're going to talk about how Waco homeowners could do something to help protect the endangered monarch butterfly, the Kansas Pollinators Conference, and what you need to know about it. And we're going to show a heroic video of a man who's willing to jump into a well to save a snake. This is your Good Morning Outdoors video. If you like this kind of content, then be sure to cultivate the like button and help this channel grow to help support wildlife conservation. And let's go ahead and get started. Care and feeding of monarchs. How Waco homeowners could help save the embattled the embattled butterfly. Okay, I can't do this anymore. 900 miles south of Waco, millions of butterflies this week are roosting in cozy mountain forests, oblivious to the central Texas landscape that has turned temporarily frozen since they last saw it in October. But for Central Texans who want to help the imperiled insects make their epic round-trip journey across the continent this year, the dead of winter is not too soon to be making plans. Waco is in the flyway of monarchs, both in the spring migration north towards the upper Midwest and the fall migration back to Mexico, which can take several generations in a single year. Along the way, these regal creatures get hungry and may stop in Waco to lay some eggs if conditions are right. And property owners are making a difference by offering a buffet of nectar plants as well as the one special host plant that these butterflies depend on. That is the milkweed, for those who are unfamiliar with it. There's a growing movement across the country to do just that. Given the steep decline of monarch numbers, this has made them the candidate for the endangered species status. Monarch advocates say preserving wild spaces and selecting the right places for the home flower bed can make a difference. This is the perfect time to be thinking about planting a spring garden. It's the time to be thinking about what you're going to be planting and when the plant sales start. Things you can plant in March that could even bloom this year, especially for the fall monarchs. Based on tagging programs along the monarch flyway, scientists estimate populations of the eastern monarchs, which mostly travel north from Mexico to the upper Midwest and Canada. They have dropped by 80% since the 1990s, which is truly tragic. In bold highlighted red words, in California is collapsing and facing extinction. According to recent butterfly counts, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in December announced the listing monarchs as endangered is warranted but precluded by work on higher priority listing actions. So that's kind of horrific to think about, that we can only address so many problems at once. And what it comes down to is they have decided, or man has decided, what priorities are most important. And I'll tell you, the number one motivation for them is always money. And the truth is, we can't lose the monarch. We can't afford to lose the monarch. So where does that leave us in the conservation of monarchs? They're not being listed as endangered. They're not offering protections or any kind of financial resources to help protect this imperiled species. That leaves it in our hands. And the truth is, it's a lot for people because it takes a lot of people to really make a difference. I mean, you're talking about butterflies that range goes from Mexico to Canada. And at any one section of the continent, if there's a break in the food source of the monarch, that creates a separation, and the monarchs can't make their full migration, and it really can have catastrophic effects on this species. Now, I won't go into too many details. If you like this article specifically, then you can actually find this article. Let's see, it's in the Waco Tribune Herald, Care of Feeding Monarchs, How Waco Homeowners Could Help Save the Embattled Butterfly. We're also going to talk about another pollinator, and they just had the Kansas Pollinator Conference examines impact of climate change, regenerative farming, and more on bees. So this seems to be more agriculture based, but still very important. Now I am on the fence with the European honeybee because yes, they're super important for us humans. However, they outcompete and outnumber the native pollinating insects, which in turn is bad for the native plants because they dilute the pollen by being such generalized pollinators. They take nectar and pollen from all the different flowers all over, everywhere, and they put a little bit of pollen on each flower, but they may be putting a mix of pollens from several different species, which can cause a problem. So I'm a little mixed on how much I like the bees. Yes, we need them. They're good pollinators, but they're not the best pollinators. It's the native pollinators that co-evolve with our native plants that are the most important ones. And this just talks about, even though bees are super advantageous, there are all types of livestock, from those with 4 legs to those underground and the ones with wings, referring to bees. So basically saying, like, bees are a form of livestock. They are part of our agricultural system. They both pollinate and help generate more food, but they also provide honey. So they produce a food and they help us produce more food. So very, very important insects, absolutely. I'm not underestimating that. I'm just saying that as far as ecology and the environment goes, not necessarily the best insect in my opinion. However, the sign of a decline in bees is a good sign to the health of an ecosystem, because they are such good pollinating insects that if they're declining, then that's not good for some of these specialized ones. But it clearly states in bold black letters, harmful chemicals and endangered bees. So that's a bold highlight, which basically is going to go on to talk about how simply having a strip of pollinator flowers, weeds, and trees beside the road, Red Large said, would help these insects flourish. In addition, we spoke with the importance of sunflowers. So that's a good one, y'all, and what a beautiful plant. But sunflowers and how their pollen is good for these little creatures in a diverse cover cropping. So multi-benefits by planting. It's a cover crop, which helps keep the soil protected and keeps the microorganisms in the soil protected, as well as providing pollen for different little creatures such as these bees. So that is another one. So milkweed and sunflowers are both some excellent flowers you should consider putting in your flower garden bed. I hope everybody had a wonderful Valentine's, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't have time to upload, but I just hope everybody had a great one. Now I want to go into one more quick video, and this video is titled, hold on. This video is Man Jumps into Well to Rescue Snake. Viral clip leaves, I don't know that word, netizens shocked. And it doesn't say what species of snake, and I still don't know. But we're going to find out here today. And when they say well, I think, like, for some reason, I think of like third world country, and like where they have like the little concrete wells that go down and they have the bucket that they let down. This is like a huge well they have here. It's almost more like a spring or something. But it says, while at an initial glance of the snake is enough to send shivers down your spine, 2 daring videos of people rescuing the reptiles stuck in wells have gone viral. So really cool. So actually, I guess it's 2 videos of them going into wells to save snakes. Let's see if we can figure out what kind of snakes these are. So I'm not sure what species of snake it is, but it almost looks like this is somewhere like in the Middle East, maybe India or something like that. Let's go ahead and take a look at this video, and just let's have our heart-warming moment here for people willing to go out of their way to save an animal like a snake that is so misunderstood. All right, just a truly good video, one that I feel like can motivate anybody to just go that little extra step out of the way to help some kind of animal, even if you don't particularly like that animal, because like all the other animals we talk about here, they all have a very crucial role in our ecosystem, and we don't want to see any animals perish, especially animals going extinct like many are on the brink of. So if you like this kind of video, if you like this video, go back and watch some of the previous videos. I'm starting a whole playlist for all the Good Morning Outdoors if you like this style of video. Otherwise, you can go check out any of my other videos. There's reptiles, insects, stinging insects, poetry, you name it. We probably made something close to something you like, but the key here is conservation. And I hope y'all had a great weekend. Happy Valentine's to you if I missed it, and we'll see you next time. Peace.